Man, people see the state championships, the Final Fours, the titles, the All-Star games, see the shoes, they see the fits, how he moving with his players, success at each stop he's had. They feel like he living a life, but they didn't see him bury one of his players. They didn't see him at the hospital after another player had a major car crash. They didn't see him having his own health battles or trying to manage his family and keep everything going together at the house. They didn't see him trying to manage and coach through grief when his heart was heavy. As Coach Barber prepares for his next stop at Hueytown High School, he sat down with me and he opens up about what it's real like behind the scenes, what it's like behind the wins, and how you show up for your players when deep down you're breaking on the inside. How do you lead through the loss of a player and just dealing with so much going on? And how do you keep fighting when everything inside of you just wants to stop, you want to give up? But this is the Closeout Mental Health Awareness Month. This is the conversations that a lot of people aren't having. You know, how do you, with the weight that coaches carry that no one else really sees. So, and this is the struggle behind the success. All right, so mental toughness, man, that gets thrown out a lot.
Yeah.
You know, being in sports, being in basketball, but with what you've been through the past few years, had that kind of like changed how you viewed it?
No, it's actually kind of helped a little because we often talk about mental toughness with our guys, and a lot of times people don't understand how mentally tough we have to be.
Yeah.
And so it was trying, but because of my mental toughness that I've been through and the things, it helped a lot, but it still was tough at the time. But I had to be there for those young men in the community, you know what I mean? So I had to show mental toughness at that time.
So how did you show it? Because I know people talk about it, people want to preach about it, like you talk about with the boys, but now it's like, okay, we had to actually walk it through. So how did you end up showing it to them?
Well, I'm being transparent. I'm very vulnerable. You know, we had our moments where we broke down and shedded tears. Let them know that I'm human as well, and we're all human, and it's okay. A lot of times people think being tough, you know, we don't supposed to cry or whatever. You know what I mean? But just being there for them, man, constantly in prayer. You know, we had counselors come in, and I had to be at the forefront. So as a leader, you know, we talk about leading, but when it's time to lead, are we ready? And through my faith and belief in God, and them guys knowing that I had their backs kind of made it a lot easier. And it helped me along the way because we kind of, along with my assistant coaches and a couple of grief counselors, made it a lot easier. But I had to be in the forefront. You know, even with Caleb's situation, his family entrusted me to do a lot of things. His candlelight vigil, I was in control of that. So at times, I don't think I had a time to grieve. I was trying to be there for everyone else, you know what I mean? And I found myself on the back end kind of spiraling at one point in time. I had to kind of catch myself and get back up.
So how did you kind of catch yourself? Like what happened for you to be like, okay, I'm struggling right here. Let me get myself back right.
Yeah, going home a lot and just wishing what could have been done different, you know, as it relates to watching the kid break his leg, a month later losing Caleb, even with Clyde leaving, you know, like I talk about all the time, that was a big blow to our team. And, you know, here lately with Quay, you know, it was trying times, but then I had my own battle. So, you know, going home, being by myself, just thinking, constantly thinking, stressing, worrying, it kind of took a toll on me, and I had to pick myself up. I think my sister one time, she told me, she said, you know, she called me DB. She said, you've been here for everybody else. You had took time for yourself to grieve. And when I realized that, you know, I had a situation that could have been detrimental to myself and my career, and through, you know, my principal, Mr. Turner, Pastor Hogan, even here lately, Pastor Beavers, I had people in my corner that kind of helped me through to navigate alone when I was by myself, not being around those guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was from that standpoint, it was kind of easy to bounce back. God gave me another chance, and I knew I had to be there for my girls, my daughters, and things. So it was kind of tough, but it was easy knowing, hey, you got to get your behind back up and take time for yourself, get yourself together.
So what did it look like getting yourself back together and kind of getting yourself
Man,
back together?
I recently always had a strong belief in God. I recently joined the Star Church with Pastor Beavers, and I have some people, you know, that I work with that kind of helped me along the way, man. And so once I joined the church, ironically, some things started happening negative in my life, and I'm like, come on, God. But he was just preparing me for where I am now, man. And it's just been great lately here. A lot of things have been going well for me. The new job, new situations going on. You know, it's just been a blessing, man. Being able to see my older daughter every day at Princeton. Now I'm coming over here every day. I get to see my middle daughter every day here at Hueytown. So things like that just make it more of a blessing.
So everything you're going through, man, you said you talk to the boys about mental toughness, but how do you define it? Like when you think about it and boil it down,
Yeah.
how would you define what mental toughness is?
So being able to go through things, face obstacles, and not let them deter you, get you down, or stop what you're going after, and being mentally, tough, focused, laser sharp, and just kind of, having that I'm not gonna give up type attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we know things are gonna be thrown our way. It's how you handle it. And I talk about that all the time. Yeah.
So if that's how you define it, how do you kind of break it down with the boys, especially because you deal with black men? So it's like, how do you kind of
that's a
bring it to them?
great term. I even have a binder over there. Each of my players have a binder. We watch videos. We give examples. We have printouts and we read and we talk about, mental toughness with the guys. We have a lot of team meetings that people don't know about. We tell them that, you trying to, let's say if something happened in the game, are you gonna try to fight or are you gonna handle it another way? Fighting is not always toughness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walking away sometimes is mental toughness because that's hard to do it for a lot of kids. So how do you handle adverse situations? What we kind of talk about a lot. And it's being present in the moment, not letting things in the past affect you. You can't control the future. You only control what's going on now.
Can you give me an example of where you had to like bring it to life in the game or in a practice or something?
Myself or the guys?
Either one.
Well, a lot of times we had a kid may get, let's say for example, a kid gets frustrated, maybe because of hard foul or shots not falling or things are not going well, and you want to lash out maybe verbally at the coaching staff or want to take your anger out on another player, and that's a teachable moment right there. So it happens all the time. It's not one pinpoint situation. Myself, I would say I don't have one defining moment, but I've had a lot of times where I had to display mental toughness. It could be, things that I read or things that I hear that may not be true about me. Sometimes I'm human. I say that all the time, but I'm not gonna let anyone live rent free in my head. So I had to display it a lot for these guys, man.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest part because when you're a coach, it's easy to say it, it's easy to talk about it, but it's like, okay, you get slapped in the face yourself.
Yeah.
Now you got to walk it out. So now I think that's the biggest teacher point you can have of being like seeing how coach walked through it. Now I know what that can look like for me. So like, man, coach getting pissed off, the ref talking crazy, fans talking crazy. But coach cool, he chilling.
So that's a great point. We were playing Gardendale, and I'm not 100% there. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but you just can't continue to badger me and don't think I'm gonna say anything. So, and me and this guy has had, if he see this, we've hashed this out, but he said some things to me. I let it go. It was kind of competitive, but when it gets along, I don't mind you talking to me, but when it get along the lines of cursing and kind of calling me out my name, I turned around and said something back to him. Well, he in turn got kicked out the game. All right, so fast forward, we went over to Scout. They were playing another team in our area. And after the game, I'm not knowing that this particular parent kind of was allegedly waiting on me and saying some things. Initially, I was with the smoke, like they say. But then I had to say to myself, if I do something, you're going to be on air.com, you're going to be on the news. So at that moment, I had to display mental toughness.
Yeah.
And then I told the guys about it. Hey, it was a situation where I wanted to do X, Y, Z, but I didn't because, and that's the thing people don't know, we're very close with our guys. And everything that goes on, teachable moments. And we talk about, I don't try to come off as this perfect coach who doesn't make mistakes, who hadn't fallen. I want you to know the real and that you still could be successful, even after making mistakes or falling or walking away. Somebody, oh man, you're a chump or you're a punk because you let him say this and do that. All right, I got to think, I got the girls at home.
Yeah.
I want to live, I want to continue to keep coaching. I got things I need to do. I'm going to let this person talk me off my ledge,
Man, looking at all the awards got, I was like, they come with a lot of hate too.
Oh my Lord.
They come with a lot of craziness. I feel like you gotta have because you've been in the game.
Yeah.
How long has it been now?
As a head coach, I just completed year 17 as a high school head coach, but 26 overall. Yeah. And like you said, I didn't want to bring it up, but that's another time, quite often, where I have to display mental toughness.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of hate.
Oh yeah.
I hear things from people I've never had a conversation with, and that's just mind-boggling. How can you not like someone or talk about someone that you've never had a conversation with? And like I said earlier, I'm not gonna let you live rent-free in my head, but obviously I live rent-free in a lot of people's heads, and that's just, it's crazy to me.
How you deal with all that, man? I feel like that's kind of uncharted territory a lot of people can't even relate to. Like you talk about stuff, but it's like you said, nobody has ever talked to you, touched your hand, hugged you, nothing, but they got all the opinions in the world, and they just hating on you. How you kind of handle that?
I've done a great job. I think my circle, well, my dot now, I don't have a circle anymore. People around me, when I talk to them, it's like, man, it's not worth it. Because there's a lot of times I get on that keyboard and want to, then I say, nah. But it's tough because I'm human. But a lot of times people know, well, he's a coach, he's a teacher, he's not going to do anything crazy. It's not easy, but I think through it all, being able to not lash out when I wanted to and not respond has put me where I am now, which you see just some of these things behind me. So I think that has helped. But it's tough because I hear and see a lot of things, but just kind of water out what they say, just water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the boys got to take some of that too because they're a part of the success with you.
Yeah.
They've been with the journey. So like, it's not just coach winning state, it's we're winning state.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that. I said this when I left midfield and went to Pinson, or when guys make a bona fide move in, I tell them it's kind of like, hey, I don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know. And ironically, my coaching staff last night just told the guys at Hueytown, they said you just became the most hated. So the kids was looking like, so I said, do you all know what that means? And one kid raised his hand and said, because you're our coach. I said, yeah. So now, guess what? The target is on your back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talk about it. And they have to go, every game we play, it doesn't matter when I was midfield or Pinson, who we played against. Because we'll go scout and they'll say, oh, this team is not that good. They're not that good. Kids love to say that. When they play a Barber coach team, that's going to be their state championship game.
Yeah.
And God forbid they win, they're going to let it be known. We win, we walk off like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because we always tell our guys, act like you've been there before. So, yeah, that's a great point.
But how do you get that mindset of act like you've been there before when a lot of them haven't been there before? Like, they talk about it, but like, what does that mean to actually put that into their mind?
So, a lot of my teams take on the onus of the coach. You know, you'll see teams beat us and storm the court. They've already been, I don't want to use the word trained, but they've already been prepped to know our biggest goal is the Legacy Arena. So when we win, we're supposed to win. Even with these guys now, I'm gonna put this mindset in these guys. It's Hueytown basketball, this new era, we're supposed to win. Act like you've been there before. We've stormed the court for state titles, not area titles, not regular season wins or any of that. And it's embedded again, like I said, and I'm getting them together now, but like I said, we have a time every year, every day where we might take 30 minutes and read a positive scripture or read something dealing with mental toughness or something dealing with, being the best guard or a basketball player, just different type of reads. And their binder, it gets built up through the season. So a lot of times when these guys go to the next level, they're already used to those type of team meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's hard to do because, like you said, started midfield, went to Pinson, now at Hueytown. How did you make the winning mindset and championship flow for all two schools, and how you gonna bring it to Hueytown now?
Great question. Midfield, so I had a lot of those guys in middle school. I just want to thank God because at every level I've been on, I've been uberly successful, and so at midfield, I was coaching the middle school, so a lot of the guys, I taught fifth grade. People don't know that. So a lot of the guys that was in my fifth grade class, they played for me in middle school. And by the time they got to the 10th grade, I was fortunate enough to get the head job. And everything I do, the way I carry myself, it's about winning. I don't accept anything else less. And so if you've been around me long enough, it's going to wear off on you. Okay, so that was midfield. It started. I said, give us 3 years. We went there in the second year. We won it the third year. And from there, it just became, those guys get that feeling, and people see that on the outside. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And I went over to Pinson for a bigger challenge. The previous coach had already established a winning mindset over there for 2 years. And I knew a lot of the guys that I had already trained, Jordan Pollard, Kool-Aid, and all those guys. So with the guys that moved in with me, along with what they had already, the success they tasted, we were all hungry. And we were hungry, eager to prove a point myself to go from 3A, 4A to 6A when they said it couldn't be done. And so to go over there and win it in year one kind of set the precedence. And so now coming over here, a lot of these guys, I was saying in the meeting yesterday, it's about probably about 3 or 4 of these guys, their parents were in high school at midfield when I was coaching.
That's crazy.
And now, so they kind of know me through that. Then a lot of the guys knew Caleb White, God rest his soul. A lot of the kids know me from training. My daughter goes here, so they know what type of coaching, what type of staff is coming here. And they know the only thing that's going to be tolerated is winning mindset.
How do you... It's hard to get arrogant. It's hard to... it's hard to not be arrogant when you're winning like this. And how do you kind of keep the guys like, hey, Alec, you've been here before, all right, we won state. The next season's like, all right, cool, that's done with, move to the next chapter. How do you keep them where they're focused and locked in with that?
Yeah, they get a lot of humble pie. It just, a kid could score 30, I'm gonna say you should have scored 31. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give a fish credit for swimming. And they see how I carry myself, and people love to say arrogant. Like I said, they take on the onus of their coach. It's not arrogant, it's confidence. When you know you're in the gym 7 days a week, when you know you've put in the work, you're supposed to walk with your head up.
Yeah.
You're supposed to believe in yourself. You're supposed to want to look nice. You're supposed to want to feel good. And it just trickles down. I don't think there's anything arrogant about being confident in yourself, but a lot of people mistake arrogance because they don't want to work as hard and get the fruits of their labor. And they mistake the arrogance my confidence for my arrogance. But it is what it is. That's what you want to think. But people that know me on the inside, I give them the shirt off my back. When I'm out with my staff or anybody, I'm like, if it's food, I want to make sure they eat first. They come on it's not about, people say a lot of times that know me, man, you so selfish, man, you need to pop your stuff a little more. It's like, for what I've been doing for so long, it's kind of like be a brand. A brand gonna sell itself. You know what I mean? I don't think you see too many Lamborghini commercials.
Hey, that was kind of smooth. I like that.
Yeah. I see Toyota every day.
Oh man, I can tell you care a lot about the boys.
Yeah.
Care a lot about the team. What is it about you that makes you want to make it all about them, though?
I just, like I said, I don't know, because the things that I'm doing, my guys, my high school coaches did with me. Like, so I thought it was the norm. Like right now today, I'm still in touch with my high school coaches. I would go stay over at their house. We would watch one film. It was VCR tapes.
Yeah.
He would take us to church. We had great relationships, so I thought that was the norm, you know. And then I go to college, and my college coach was the same way. You know, he was just like, it was cool, but he was a hard worker. You know, it was like, okay, this is my coach. All right, this is my father. This is my mentor. You know, this is like, wore all those hats. So everything I'm doing is just what I thought was normal. And coming from Florida, I guess that got a lot to do with it. But I don't, and people get mad when I say that, but it's just a different type of vibe, you know. You look at, I'm not comparing myself, but you look at Dion and the way he is with his guys, and that's just how it is. And so people want to be a part of it, and the guys see that, and they and kind of, like I said, it kind of rubs off on them as well, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, man, you talked about Caleb earlier. Take me back to that moment, because I wasn't in the community like that, man. I wasn't super aware, but for those who don't know, you know, you lost Caleb. Take me back to when you first found out what happened, and how'd you kind of process everything that happened?
Well, Caleb and I developed a great relationship. His older brother was at Ramsey, and people was telling me, I knew him from middle school, and so people were saying, man, that kid Caleb White's coming to Pinson. He's coming to Pinson. I'm like, man, he's going to Ramsey with his brother. And it's a funny story. His mom told me, I saw them in the summer around this, well, it was around May or June. And he was in Pinson parking lot driving, because a lot of people go there to learn how to drive. But when I saw him, they were passing by the gym, so I would look, and I remember seeing this little kid just smiling. And I went to the car and said, what y'all doing, Mom? He was like, Coach, I'm coming to play for you. And I was like, what? But he was up there, she was teaching him how to drive. And he's like, I'm coming to play for you. I said, for real? I said, Miss White, where do y'all live at? She said, we live in Pinson. I was like, oh, for real? So ever since that summer came, man, we developed a bond. I was extremely hard on him his freshman year. You know, he was very good, and I'm always like that to guys that I'm gonna be hard on you, because now the other guys see him. He's not playing with him. So when Caleb and I developed a relationship, he was a hard worker, undersized, as they like to say, which I was. His passion for the game and love for the game, it just kind of was something about him. As a freshman, Kool-Aid was playing football, right? So I told the coaches, we're gonna let Caleb play varsity in the summer, and when Kool-Aid come back, we'll put him on JV. So after about 2 weeks in workouts in the summer, my coach came to me and said, Coach, I don't think we're gonna be able to keep that kid off varsity. He was really clearly the best player in the gym at the time. And later on, Caleb would come back to tell me and say, Coach, if you put me on JV, I was going to act like I was hurt. He said I wasn't playing JV. So I'm saying that to say that's the type of kid he was. So as a freshman, he had a lot of big moments for us, game winners. His sophomore year had a great run. And of course, you know, his junior year was when we were undefeated. And man, to see him after we lost to Buckhorn, not even the next week, the next couple of days, it was a Saturday, Monday morning, Coach, let me get your key. And he was there at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning, every day, working extremely hard. Like, so fast forward to June, about a week before school, workout started in June. I'll never forget, he get ready for play. Coach, I'm a kid this year, Coach. It's over with. I got you this year, Coach. We're going to get back. I'm like, okay, you know, I believe it. You showed me, you put in the work. And so I'll never forget it, you know, that day, it was August 10th, and we were in workouts in school, because, you know, when you have 4th and 5th block, you can work out during school. It doesn't matter when it is, because it's considered PE. And his team had been down that game, and he was talking a lot of noise. So you know me, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all about to lose. So he said, we ain't losing, Coach. I think it was like a tie score. He came over there, he had a little necklace on, he took his necklace off, changed shoes. He said, Coach, we finna win. And in that moment, the guy that took the ball out to him was on his team. I remember him barking, like getting on him, you know, like, man, what you doing? What's going on? And he got the ball, and he started to dribble up the court, and thought he was going down to do a snatchback move, a crossover move, and kind of gasped, and just, so it was tough watching that. him basically take his last breath in that gym, you know. Something I'll never forget. And then, like I say all the time, we were going to the scene every single day at Pinson because it happened right there in front of us. And then we shrined out his locker. So it was tough, man. That was like I said, it was a trying time for myself, the community, and the family. But we were able to get through it. But like I said, anytime you see a picture with me in the gym, we hold up the ones. After that, the guys, we vowed to never leave the gym, regardless, good or bad, without saying. We've said sometimes I love you because I love you. Yeah. We made it our business every day, you know, not to leave because you never know. And you know, I think God did that for a reason, to show those guys, like, man, you never know when the ball can start bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, you never know when it's gonna start bouncing. But like you hear that, we say it, and it's like, all right, cool, whatever. And it takes something like that to snap us to be like, oh, yeah, that's how it hits. Yeah. That's what it means. You never really know.
Yeah. When you wake up, you never go hard. You never know when it's gonna be your last day. And one of my student managers, you know, he can't walk. The spinal, I don't know how to pronounce it, the disease that he has, spinal, I don't know, but mom will correct it when she sees it. But, you know, I keep him around. And we've had a great relationship. And I tell the guys often, Braden wish he can get up out that chair and walk. You know, Caleb didn't know he wasn't going to be able to play his senior year, wasn't going to be able to go to prom. You know, look at Quay. He didn't know that his senior year would become, you know what I mean? So we've had a lot of examples around us, man, unfortunately, but fortunately. Yeah. So they have real life examples to know, hey, you got to go hard every day regardless.
What was the beauty in that? Because I know a lot of times we look at that, oh, it's a sad story, it's this that happened, but like, it was 3 years now from that, and it's like, okay, now you got time to kind of separate from it some. In the moment, you know, stuff is tough, but now as you're looking back at it, it's like, okay, this was the beautiful part that happened within that. Yeah,
so to know that, for me, one of the things is to see how his family is doing. You know, and his brother just graduated, just pledged a fraternity in college. His brother has a son. You know, we do things to keep his legacy alive. And so I think Caleb was able to go before us and touch the lives of not even just kids in Alabama, man. We were getting love from people in different states. I think it made national news, and it also brought awareness to what happened with him. And so now when you see like the Bronnies of the world and Caleb's now, it's partially because of him. Yeah. You got to have that testing now. So that's the beauty in it, knowing that he's able to, because of his transition, help other kids or even college kids or high school kids now take precaution, and even doctors in schools and hospitals to take those type of precautions, because they said it was nothing that we would never could have done about it unless it happened before he got through it. Kind of like Bronny was able to get through it, you know. So, but then they told us we took all the right measures. Nothing you all could have did. It was just a situation that happened. And from there, his family was able to go, because they said it was hereditary. So that's another good thing. His family was able to go get on top of it. All three of mom, dad, and his brother had to go get tested, you know, for their heart. So it was, you know, things like that, man.
How do you lead the team after that? Because that's like you said, it's a freak thing. You don't really know what's happening. It's like, dang, that's crazy. How do you?
I thought I was leading, but I thought I was okay. But we had, like I said, we had counselors coming in, people constantly talking to us. And when I look back on that season, it was like a blur. You know, I could tell it was like an out of body experience. You know, like we would put his jersey on the seat. People in my circle would tell me, like, you just kept constantly, like, the jersey had to be straight on the seat for me, you know, in the game. And it was tough, but I was just thank the man above that we were able to get through it. We didn't finish how we wanted to, but it was tough. And through our belief and through our faith, kind of helped us along the way. But like I said, that was a tough one. That really was. That was. I mean, this past year, even with Quay, you know, going shorthanded. And I often ask God, like, what are you trying to show me, you know, with those 3 years in a row? You know what I mean? And I think he's, you know, showing that although you've had a lot of success, you know, there's some bumps in the road. And I'm going to see how you're going to handle this on the back end. And we were still fortunate enough to get to the championship game when Clyde left us. So from there, it showed that, hey, you know, when things happen, you know, next man up for the kids. Just kind of made me tougher and mentally stronger as a coach and as a person. And it taught me a lot of valuable lessons in life. Not to take these kids for granted, not to take I had to go find out I had high blood pressure. I had to go get myself checked out, because I was, like I said, I was losing myself thinking, trying to do it for everybody else. Yeah. Everybody else, all the families. And I love them all to life, but I had to take time for me. I had to take time for me. So, you know,
Well, I went through Quay, because I know that I actually know Quay, so they hit me a little bit too. I'm like, dang, oh boy, Quay went down. Because I saw it on social media, and it was like, I forgot what I saw first. I think it's just like shout out to Quay, prayers of Quay. I'm just like, hey, what happened to Quay? I'm
Yeah.
like, and I finally saw I hit him up. I was like, man, you good, boy? Like, yeah, I've been down for a minute, but he was in good spirits.
Yeah.
So when you found out what happened with Quay, man, what was the
Yeah, that was another one, man. Once we fell short, he kind of picked up where Caleb and Wu left off, getting the key every morning, coming in, grinding, leading the guys summer ball, leading them in fall league, vocal leader, being their first type of leader. Another kid that came over in his sophomore year, and we had a rocky start again. He wasn't used to my style of coaching. He tell everybody now, but he realized that he's thankful for that because all the way fast forward to his senior year, he had the keys not only to the gym but to the team. And I knew what type of senior year he was gonna have as well. And again, typical day. Love you, coach. Love you. Let me get some of that chicken. Got some of the chicken. Finna get ready to go home. I'll never forget I was going to pick up my youngest daughter and get a phone call from the principal and the SRO say Quay just had a bad accident. Like, what? And they told me where it was. And by the time I called mom, so I could hear her running to the scene. And I'm thinking, okay, she said, I think you got a broke leg. All right, be all right. We'll come back. Probably ain't that bad. And next thing you know, we got there, the ambulance was already going to the hospital. And, again, the last time I was at the hospital with a player, it didn't turn out too favorable at the time. And that's all I was thinking, like, Lord, please, just let this kid make it. So I was about 3 hours at the hospital with the family, man. They came out, and mom and dad, Coach Barber, come on with us. And when they came out and told us to list the things that was wrong with him, from the cut, the spleen, bleeding on the brain, got surgery on his ear, broken femur, broken kneecap, like, oh man, but we were thankful that he was gonna be alive.
Yeah.
And we went over there probably 4-ish, 5. We probably didn't get back as a family to go back to see him. Even though it's 9 was a visitation cutoff, it was like 11:45, and just to see him like that, the doctors never said he'd never play this season, but they never said he would.
Yeah.
And so he started to recover, man, and it was another blow to the team. Like, dang, our leader going down. You know what I mean? And but we can get it done. We've seen this picture before. Thank God he's living.
Yeah.
And he started doing his rehab, and we first did I did the article. I tell everybody the story, and I was like season ending. Because with everything I knew, it was like, and so when he came up out of ICU 2 or 3 days later, read the article, his mom and them dad told me, said he read the article like, what Coach Barber talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be back in January. He had a date. And so January 6th, once he started rehab, first game back, January 6th. Again, showing the guys perseverance, mental toughness, not taking each day for granted. And Quay showed them he didn't want help walking. When he started rehab, he walked up the stairs. He didn't want help with it. We came in that practice with the walker the first day. All the guys were happy. Again, there was another moment where they seen this thing is serious, So it was tough, man. And we're trying to fight now. I'm trying to help them get in school along with other seniors. They've been to a couple of tryouts, and it was life. You know what I mean? But I'm just thankful he's here. I told him at the end of the season, this on paper was the worst season we've ever had, or I've ever had, or whatever you want to call it. But I said, you coming back to play in the last 4 or 5, 6 games, and finish your last game playing 32 minutes, scoring 20 points is bigger than any state title that I've ever received. Yeah.
What's the first thought that you have to have as a coach? Because it's one thing to be Barber, like you, as a man, but then it's like, oh snap, I'm still wearing the coach hat. I have to figure out handling the team. What's the first thing that you kind of do? Is like, okay, I have to get the boys together after losing Caleb and we lost Quay. Like, what's the first thing you kind of do with like, how do I lead these boys?
Yeah, rally the troops. When we go into deep prayer, and unfortunately, I had already been experienced in that area, and I had to show them the next man up mentality, not in a bad way, but it's like Quay would want y'all to keep going.
Yeah.
And it was tough for me, but I can't. Again, I do show vulnerabilities, but I can't just be to the point where I'm showing like, oh man, season over with, it's over with. Like, no, we got to pick up the pieces and keep going. And so from there, like I said, once we rally the troops and they see me every day, still coaching hard, and the coaching staff still doing what they're supposed to do, they don't have a choice, you know what I mean? And like I said, Quay would come in and talk to them and coach them, so it was a lot easier from that standpoint because he was still with us. But business as usual.
But it's not at the same time, especially when you're talking about with Caleb, because it's like it's different from somebody being there, and it's like, hey, Caleb, he can't come in.
Yeah, now that one was it was a little, like I said, that was something. Like I said, it was a blur at the end of the season. We played 27 games, but man, That was tough. But again, that's why I say I think it was so hard that season that I lost myself for trying to be there for everybody else. And I had to, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
So I think that taught me a lot in this situation with Quay, how to make sure we all take care of ourselves and all still understand that we got things to do and we want to do it for him as well. And knowing that he was coming back. And I think this team, this situation was different. When Caleb left Clyde, we still had Clyde, we still had Wu, we still had young Quay. But when Quay left this year, we had a lot of guys that had to get thrust into a role that they had never been in. And at times, we struggled with that. And then we were very young. We probably had one, maybe two just returning guys from varsity the previous year that played minutes. So it was tough, but like I said, I didn't coach them any different, man.
Yeah.
Because if they saw me lacking any, he don't care about us, or he gave up already. Yeah, I'm never giving up. Yeah. Never.
How'd you balance still being you, still showing up, keep like I said business as usual, with giving them space to like deal with everything going on too?
We deal with a lot together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We go to church together. We have lock-ins, so I want to be there for them. But when you say space, man, they'll see this in lab, but we're in the gym 7 days a week. And I talk to them. So when I have issues, I have problems. Everybody have problems. But when I'm in that gym, that's my safe haven. So I kind of look at it like that. I feel like the more, because parents have to work and have other things to do. So I feel like the more they're with us, the coaching staff, and with each other as brothers, and we're together, kind of helps free their mind a little bit. So that's kind of how I look at it.
So you kind of created it to where it's like, all right, let's say for example, locker room, all right, we crying, get it all out. Once you step on that court, turn it on.
Oh yeah. And then you see every day you go, you got a locker right now. You see those shrined out lockers every day. You know what it is. When you go in that gym, you see him on the wall. You know what he would have wanted. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Was it hard to get all the boys on the same page, or to have somebody kind of struggling?
For Caleb, you had individuals that was close to him, closer to him, that hung out with him. But I think two of those guys at the time may have transferred. But the guys that were still there, we all struggled together with that. It was different times. We were in Arkansas one time, and we were at a big classic there, and they showed Caleb on the because that's why we got the invite, because of Caleb and Clyde, and they showed a short video. And when thinking everything is fine, we go back to the hotel. Clyde had a moment where he broke down. We had two sisters that were our student managers, had been in school with Clyde since 5th and 6th grade. Yeah. So anytime anybody would have their moments, we would let them. It's okay, but we'll be there for them to pick them back up. I had my moments. Yeah. Anytime we would pray, and this is the first time I probably did an interview and didn't break down talking about it. So initially we were getting counseling together, but I had to go seek individual counseling. And anytime we would talk about him, now when I break down, it's like happiness. At first it was like hurt and disappointment, like dang, grief, you know what I mean? But now if I break down and cry, it's like, cause I just, when I look at him now, when I see him, I just see him smiling, saying, "Coach, man, chill out, I got you," you know what I mean? So I know he's good and looking down over us to help me and myself and these kids to continue to keep going. Not even just Pearson, Midfield, Hueytown kids, just anybody around the state.
So now with you being at Hueytown, man, is it gonna be a big restructuring of like how you kind of handle things, because they don't fully know, they can't relate to everything, so it's like you have moments where it's like, dang, Caleb, dang, Quay, it's like they're gonna hit you at pockets. It's gonna be hard for you kind of transition now being here?
Nah, not at all. And I think somebody asked me before, did that have any effect on me leaving? And I thought that was just the weirdest question, like, what am I running for? I stayed there, you know what I mean? Like, no. But things happen, change happen, get better opportunities in life. So, man, when I come over here, we'll bring the Caleb White tip-off classic over here because I'm honoring someone that I had a relationship with, and his parents and I have discussed that. But now these guys, man, I'm actually looking forward to working with the group. We had trials Monday and Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it, and I think these guys are looking forward to it as well. Sometimes a lot of us in life, we need to hit that reset button, you know what I mean, or refresh button, and that's no knock to the last coaching staff, or even me leaving Penson, you know what I mean? It's just the reality of it. So now we'll be getting to know you. We talked about that yesterday. We got a parent meeting coming up on Tuesday. We'll get to know each other. I told them we're going to be in this gym every day. Yeah. And I think they're looking forward as well as we are.
How did you leave Penson? Like, because with the emotional attachments you have to them, the community, the boys, I understand, it's a different opportunity. I'm trying to talk bad about it, but like, different opportunity, different look of what's going on. How'd you make the decision to be like, okay, I'm leaving Pinson, everything that I built, everything that we've been through here, and you're gonna leave that to now transition to Hueytown? How did you make that decision to be like, dang, after all I've been through, like you said, from Caleb to Quay, it's like, how did you make that transition?
Well, I made it from midfield. You know, I was in midfield 15 years, but I was coaching there 9, high school, head coach. And sometimes we get complacent in life, and we're afraid of change. I'm not afraid of change, but it has to be the right moment and the right timing. You know, I've had situations in midfield where I had other schools come at me, but it wasn't the right time. And then I had certain, you know, we never want to lead the kids, but the way this thing is now, man, these kids will lead. You know what I mean? And so it gets to a point in life where you do have to think about yourself and bettering yourself. But again, I wasn't seeking to leave Pinson at all. You know what I mean? We had just finished the season and the phone call was made and I was, nah, I'm cool. Another phone call was made, what it's gonna take, kind of talking to him, and it's like, when you get to thinking about the pros and cons and certain situations, you have to look at what the good, the bad, and what outweighs the good versus the bad, and you know, the opportunities you have. And I like challenges. Like I said, I could have stayed in midfield, won 6, 7 state titles, won it in 3A, 4A, and got a Pinson, won the 6A, went there to another state championship. And the time was right, and Hueytown is now 5A. So crazy Coach Barber, let's start to go see if I can win it in 5A and turn another program around. Well, yeah, to turn another program around. So it was, while it was difficult because it's always the kids, and I know it was gonna be a difficult situation, but I know that I gave my all, blood, sweat, and tears to that community, to that school, to those kids. So I don't feel bad. I would hope that people appreciate what I've done there and wish me well, but don't everybody's not happy for you.
Yeah.
And I understand it.
Oh yeah. You talked about how the boys, you know, they can leave how they want to and everything. And you talk about from now high school, college, and it's like, oh, no loyalty. And the kids don't have any loyalty to anything. And the kids mentally weak because, you know, they go through a tough season. They ain't playing how they want to.
Or you get on them, they leave, or things not going well, they want to leave. And a lot of times we're teaching these kids, and okay, in life, when things don't go well for you, just leave.
Yeah.
Versus if it's a better situation to leave, I'm gonna welcome that.
Yeah.
It makes sense, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the era we're in, man, unfortunately.
Do you see that being, like, adding on to the, you know, the saying, oh, the kids today is mentally weak. These boys soft, they ain't, you know, they charming, soft, all that stuff. Do you think that adds into it, or is it just like the times that we're in?
It's the times we're in, but you know, us old heads, we always say, man, you know, on Saturday morning, we went outside and played every sport. You know, we got scars on our knees. We out there playing pickup, toss-up and tackle football. We in Florida, we call it muffin, playing baseball. Then we go to the gym, we play hide and go seek. We didn't have computers, and so everything is accessible. It's the microwave generation. You know, they don't have to work for anything. Now with ChatGPT, so it unfortunately it carries on to sports. Everybody want the easy way out. Nobody don't want to work as hard. They don't want you to get on them. Well, I'm always be a tough love type of coach.
Yeah.
You know, I change with the times. That's what has blessed me. But I'm not gonna change my core values. You gonna work. I'm gonna get on you. You're gonna be in this gym. I'm gonna love you hard. But this generation, it's not just high school. It's little league, college, the pros. You know, I mean, it's just a buddy, friends, and you know. But that's where we is. So you know, certain parts of that, I've learned how to adjust and meet them halfway. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, we're gonna continue to do things how we did 25. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I used to always be big on team shoes. So I ordered them a pair of team shoes, but I let them. I'm not fighting that battle.
Yeah.
Some battles it ain't even worth fighting with today's generation. We're gonna listen to me. I'm gonna let you listen to your music. I'm gonna let you do all that, but I'm gonna spoil you till you act spoiled.
Yeah.
When you act spoiled, I'm taking away all that. You can wear them team shoes. We ain't listening to no music. We ain't wearing no shooting shirt. Like I'm gonna give you everything you need. But when you act spoiled, take it away from you. So some of that's the old school in me.
How have you adjusted though? Because I know a lot of coaches, they're like, oh, I'm old school, I'm sticking with this, and I'm rigid, and we still doing this. But how have you adjusted and adapted being a little relaxed?
Man, these kids keep me young. You know what I mean? I've never been that coach who make it. Again, people think that I've never been the coach that make it about me. Some people say they don't like the term players coach. Or, you know, Barber cool with the play. Yeah, I am, but I'm the type. It's like a teacher. When you go in day one, you got to establish who in charge and their precedence. Then you can kind of go down. You can't go in being their friends, and then when something happens, you want to not try to get on them. No.
Yeah.
So I go in tough, stern. This is what it's gonna be. But I also understand today's kids. Some kids, like I used to coach all kids the same. I didn't care about it. Spit you out. Now I understand this kid may not be able to handle that mentally, so I got to reach them another way, or tell one of my other coaches, hey, that's your project. I know I may be able to just get on you and cut you out of you good. That's gonna make you go out there and play. But some kids, it may make them go into a shell. So I've learned that through the years how to adjust. And again, I just thank God for me being able to, man. It's just who I am. You know, a lot of people say, Coach, you try that. I don't try that young. I who I am.
Yeah.
I like what I like. And if I like certain type of rap music, I like it. I can go old school R&B, but if my guys want to hear, that's what it's going to take for them, let's do it. Again, as so many coaches, we fight so many battles we don't need to fight.
Yeah.
And I've learned I'm not fighting certain battles.
How you decide which ones are worth fighting for?
Because the ones that's going to help you in life and help you on that court, but the ones that's minor, or this kid may have got mad in practice, man, what the fuck? Excuse me.
There you go.
Hey man, chill out. But I ain't, you're suspended, or you got to be gone. Like, come on, man. We like my children. I know in the car, I'll say this when they were young. I listen to rap music or whatever. They're gonna go do it anyway. So like, I would rather you do certain things around me than to go and not to sneak and do it. And it's the same thing with the boys. When they're in that locker room, that's their space, that's their time. I let them be young men.
Yeah.
But if you walk in the hallway or any school, they'll tell you the program that's been best on campus is basketball. They're not gonna get in trouble. They don't have their pants down. Their consequences come with that, going to the office and all that. Yeah. So if it's like a parent, I'm gonna give you this. I just need you to act this kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, my mom always told me, as long as you're in school, high school, you don't have to work. You just make sure you play basketball and be a good student. I never had to work in high school. So it's kind of a mentality I bought with my guys.
How do you ebb and flow with the players? Because, like you said, it's some boys you can get on to, and some guys you kind of like, all right, I'm gonna hand you off the assistant coach. How do you kind of figure out who's who and what's what?
Well, like for example, over here, they all finna get Coach Barber. But I'm gonna learn, okay, I see now that might make him, or that might make him. So now I got the different assistant coaches, because one of my coaches, he might be rah-rah. Then I got Coach Brown who gonna come in, because he been around me the longest. All right, you know, man, this is what he do. Got Coach Nate. So, you know, it helps to have a staff too that understand, because my staff and I, we're not all alike. You know, I'm rah-rah, but now Coach Forbes is rah-rah without understanding nothing but. I'm rah-rah, but I know the difference. So I had to get on him, hey man. Then Coach Nation kind of in between, and then you got Coach Brown, the longest tenure. He's kind of the laid back, but he knows me the best.
Yeah. So
he can easily say, hey man, this is what Coach really saying, what he's thinking about. So I got certain kids I may say, you know what, I'm gonna coach you hard. Coach Brown, that's your project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know, just learning the kids and learning their personalities.
I think that's the best part, because you know, we talk about it a lot in the NBA, and they're like, oh, you got 1,000 coaches on the sideline, but it's like, man, when you start breaking down who does what and how it breaks down, it's like, man, almost 3 coaches for 1 player.
Yeah, you need it. You need a good staff, man. I tell you that, it helps a lot. A lot of coaches want to try to do it on their own. It's impossible. I used to be one of them coaches because I was so successful. Never really had a lot of assistant coaches coming up through, you know. But no, you definitely need that balance.
So how do you decide? Because I'm pretty sure you can be like, man, I want this coach, this coach, this coach. How do you decide who's a great fit for you and who's not? Because you got, you know, all the success. You can handpick basically who you want to. But what do you decide? Like, okay, you know the X's and O's, but what else do you have?
Right. So I'm my staff, man. I always want me an OG on there with me, somebody who's been around. And I also believe in helping young coaches. So if it's a young coach that I know that's hungry and wants an opportunity, and you know, and it's there, I'm gonna give it to him. You know, Coach Jones at midfield. He wasn't on my staff at first. He was the middle school coach with my head assistant Matthew Epps, and we made it to the state championship game in 2012. And he told Matthew Epps, "Hey, just ask Coach Barber, can I sit on the bench for the experience?" And I told Coach Epps, "That's on you. He can, but that's on you now." From that moment on, he became a sponge, and he worked. When Epps went on to be a principal, Jones came up the ranks, was the head assistant coach, and now look at him, state title winning coach over at midfield. So he was a young coach. Coach over at Tarrant, you know, Groom was a young coach that I took in. And now, you know, with Forbes, you know, a lot of people he's from New York, so a lot of people get his personality kind of mixed up. But he's coached JUCO, he's been the GA at UAB, so he has a wealth of knowledge in basketball. He's just never ran the program. So, you know, I like to have what I call it a mixture, a gumbo, you know what I mean? Different personalities, but understand me. And lastly, I got to be able to trust you, so I'm going to do my homework.
Yeah.
You know, for example, Coach Brown, he told the story, he made me feel good. He was like, I went into a lot of coaches' inboxes, and none of them had the resume Coach Barber did. Coach Barber, the first one to respond to me. You know what I mean? And so that made me feel good, you know, that I did that and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Coach Forbes has a similar story, you know what I mean? So now those guys can come in and I know I can trust you and been tried. Like Coach Forbes basically didn't realize he's been played for a year. I wasn't fooling with him like that because I don't trust easy. And so it takes time for me and getting to know a person and trusting in the person. So it's kind of how I build it. But you can always see one OG, one old head. I've had a couple head coaches on my staff, and I've given coaches a chance, and it didn't work out. Live and you learn. You know, I had somebody had to give me a chance. Yeah.
The leadership that you have, especially when dealing with the young men and it's the changes that you have, has it been hard to kind of lead them and how they've, you know, adapted and changed into it? Okay, when you coach 10 years ago versus how you're coaching now, has it been hard to kind of bring the coaches along with you too of like, all right, y'all got to fit in with me too this way?
No, because the running joke, I make a joke when you come to my staff, you sure you want to dress alike? You want to wear a bow tie? Like, I get guys, man, who I really do a deep dive. So it hadn't been hard, you know what I mean? Because it seems like a lot of turnover, but it's not, because you got Coach Jones went on to be a head coach, Coach Groom went on to be a head coach, Coach Epps went on to be a principal. You know, I had TC and Wu's father. He was Mr. Alabama. He went on to retire and help his friend at Ramsey. Greedy Williams' dad, you know, came from Montgomery. They helped me, and once Greedy went to college, he kind of transitioned into just being a full-time dad. So it's been easy for me to get guys. And then I have a lot of people coming to me wanting to join the staff. And now I just told myself right now, you know, it's 4 of us. I like it where it is. You know what I mean? You know, I got people from the outside, my nephews, that come in and help and do training as well that people don't see behind the scenes. So while it's my coaching staff and it's me, it's a lot of other entities to it that people don't see.
I feel like you got a great idea and how you're doing stuff. You got a pretty good system. Like you said before, you're still human though. You know, what's the biggest mistake or challenge that you had? It's just like, dang, Barber, why you do that, man?
I don't regret anything I did, so it's just a lesson learned. You know what I mean? I don't regret anything I've done, because everything I did has taught me life lessons and what not to do. But regret is a strong word, because we probably wouldn't be here. If things was different, I probably wouldn't be sitting right here. So I don't regret anything.
So what's the biggest lesson that you learned?
People are gonna be people. In the words of my guy Charles Thomas. You know, people. I've learned to. Biggest lesson I've learned, man, is not to let people deter you from what you believe in. You know, I've heard that Coach Barber don't run nothing. The people who saying that probably have never been in Legacy Arena, but to watch. So if I don't run anything, then kudos to me. Coach Barber, you know, I've heard it all. And I've learned to just sit back and laugh, and when you tell me I can't do something, like, people probably saying, why he going to Hueytown?
Yeah.
You sit back and watch the show.
I say the same thing, man. People gonna be people. And people get, like, when I say it in certain ways, it's like, man, how could you say that? It's like when you zoom out and you stop being so emotional about it, it's like human beings are gonna respond in certain ways. So when you see it play out one of 3 ways, one of 5 ways, whatever it is, you don't get moved by it. And so for you being in this position, it's like, well, here I go again. I started at midfield. Oh, I seen you before. You the loudmouth dad who gonna talk whatever, X, Y, and Z. Okay, now I'm at Pinson. Oh, you the mom who gonna do this, that, and third. Okay, now you're at Hueytown. So now you got 20 years, like you said, to look back and see human beings are gonna be human beings.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you're gonna have, I'm sure some parents or people are unhappy with me from yesterday when I had to cut some kids. You know, we had a couple kids that were in the program last year. But every coach is different, you know what I mean? I know what I'm looking for, and I know what I like, and I'm not here to coddle you. I have a job to do. Mr. Howard and his administration brought me in to do a job, and I'm gonna do that job, and I'm gonna do it with the guys I see fit, that we see fit, to bring in this new era of Hueytown basketball.
Yeah. You feel like it's gonna be an easy transition for you?
As it relates to basketball, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah. I'm transitioning now, man, and like I say, no classes. I can really focus on basketball, go out and help with the discipline in the school. I got my staff with me. My oldest daughter will be teaching here next year. Closer to home, so this transition has been pretty, and like I said, I wouldn't have made a lateral move or a downward move, so of course it's been easy. The biggest part is gonna be, man, getting these kids to buy in.
Yeah. And
I don't think it'll be hard, but like I said, that's what the summer is for. We have June, July, then we get ready for August. Got some guys that play football, but at the end of the day, you're talking about May, June, July, August, September. I mean, 6-7 months.
How do you get that buy-in? Like you said, transition to a new spot, you state champ, all that stuff, but it's like, dang, these are a whole different group of boys. How do you get that buy-in at this point, so many years into the game?
continue to do what we do at our brand of basketball, our brand of leadership. And like I said, it's easy to know in your business if, I'm gonna just use the guy that's got this big studio, he's syndicated, he's been doing pods forever, man, and he brings you under his wing. You know his pedigree, it's gonna be easy for you to buy in than somebody who just picked up a phone yesterday and saying, oh, come on, man, like, you're gonna do your homework too. So I think the buy-in is gonna be very easy, but it's gonna be hard. And we told them that it's gonna be hard. You know, how do you get through hard? You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a lot of life lessons that we have to teach these guys because it's gonna be something new to them.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think we'll be fine. Knowing what I know and who I am and the staff and just the things we're gonna do and the things that Mr. Howard is doing. Is the excitement for the guys, the revamping of the weight room already, putting TVs in the locker rooms, you know what I mean? Getting the Jumbotron out there, the guys looking like, man, we've never had these things. So that's excitement alone, you know? Getting we out turf in our weight room, you know what I mean? So I think that when even if some of the guys walking in here, and we're not even done yet, even some of the guys walking in here like man, you know what I mean? And so they see it. When you see all this, when you look at that locker room and you see, okay, all this is a standard, all you gotta do is bring it on the court. You're gonna continue to get what you need. Yeah. So it makes it easy. It's like you have a parent and you see your parent, okay, hard working, roll up his sleeve, and he's getting this, and we got this type. Oh, let me follow that blueprint. Let me join that. If not, guess what? I'll be gone.
Yeah.
Just that simple. We're gonna find out who wanna be here real quick.
How's life being off the court? Not as Coach Barber, but just DB, as you said before.
It's been, so I'll be real, the last 4 months, like I said, I lived through basketball, but the last 4 months, like I said, once I joined the Star and started on kind of this new walk and met some people in my life, man, to be honest with you, I was wondering again, like, God, why are you taking me through this?
Yeah.
But here lately, it's some things, and I won't go into detail. My oldest daughter, she watches, she know what she was able to do, and I thank God for bringing her to Princeton because I would have never made the decision to move forward in a particular phase of my life, and I thank her for that. Had a situation going on. It's not all financially, you know, had a situation going on, vehicle. You know, people don't know I was without a vehicle for 4 months. And you never would know the way I carry myself. And that's, again, showing the guys. And my guys knew that.
Yeah.
But I had reliable people around me. And, again, question God, why did I go through this with this guy, with this mechanic with my vehicle? Then to finally get it back and take it to another one. And then, you know, I thank God, you know, it's a praise moment, testimony, to get another vehicle, what I wanted, but he sat me down, and I'm gonna mentally see where you are. And our pastor said all the time, when I give you more, how are you gonna handle it? And so lately in life, man, you know, I've gotten a chance to be with both my daughters on a daily basis. My oldest and middle, for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And Denia's on her way out, graduating, so I'm with her every day now. My oldest daughter's coming over, and I get to see my baby girl. So it's like from Sunday to now, being able to see all my daughters and the relationship I have with them, you know, I'm getting ready to go home. Hopefully see my mom. They're coming up here for the meet and greet, my grandmother. So, man, life is good. Life is good, you know. And like I tell the people, say, Coach, how you doing today? I'm blessed. I woke up.
Yeah.
Everything else is extra. Yeah.
Leadership as a dad. And it's girls.
Yeah. Man.
I feel like that's a whole different beast, man. Because it's one thing to be a coach.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be a sports coach, no matter what sport it is. And it's like, man, as a dad.
Yeah.
And you balancing both of them.
Yeah. I'm a trying dad, man. I ain't perfect. You know what I mean? But one thing I can say is my daughters and I have a great relationship, regardless of what anybody may think. And I try to get them all the first two to play basketball. They wind up being great cheerleaders. And, you know, being a girl dad is taught me a lot as well, you know, because I'm very close to my mom. Because I think for a reason God didn't give me boys, you know. And, you know, my daughter's like, Dad, I want to play basketball, but you probably been too hard on me. So being a girl dad it's been great. They've all been there for me, supporting me. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but man, it's tough at times because I have let the gym take ownership of my life a lot of times to fault. I thank God that my girls and I had a relationship we have regardless of what goes on. So, man, that's a good thing, man. And to have all three of them at the Legacy Arena that year on the floor with me, that was one of the surreal moments for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, being able to see them every day now he's getting ready to go to college. Oldest daughter's coming here. So it's just been a blessing, man. That's the biggest thing to keep me going, man. Like I said, a lot of times I had to think before I make a move, a decision, because it's not about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you juggled both of them, man? Because I feel like that's a whole being a parent alone, crazy, a
Yeah.
lot going on. Because you got your life and it's the kids' life, but then you basically a second dad to a lot of the boys. Because it's like, hey, I'm parenting like 20 kids now.
Yeah.
So how you managing Coach Barber and dad and your personal life?
Yeah, I think I do a better job. I had to learn through Darielle, because a lot of times I wasn't there for Darielle because I was so engulfed in basketball. And a lot of times, I think even Naya told me one time, like, Dad, I don't know if you realize, like, you spend so much time with those other, because I train and I coach girls. And I had to realize, and it helped me through our relationship, like, damn, so and it taught me a lesson, because, like, I didn't realize, like, I'm here with all these other, it's one thing to pour in the kids, but you got your own.
Yeah.
So, Naya and her age, and Daria didn't get a chance to experience that much, but Dallas is going through it. They go to the gym with me, they come to the game, so now I'm good because I have them with me.
Yeah.
And then when they're with me on the weekends, I try to do things with them, and support them, and just in their endeavors. So to me, it's just like coaching again. It just seems easy. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? But I try to do what I can, and it's not really a juggling act now, because it's kind of all intertwined into one. Yeah.
So how was it dealing with Caleb's situation and everything with Quay? How'd you handle the burden with that? Because it's like, okay, I'm struggling with myself, and you have to be there for everybody else. How'd you kind of keep the peace within with yourself and manage everything else going on too?
God, for real, I keep saying that, man. But when I look back at it, that's the only thing it could have been. And then, like I said, my daughters and Dallas's mom and my daughter Denai was there with me every step of the way. That made it a lot easier. And then, like I said again, my support system, that just made it so much easier. And just being able to be around and pour myself into the guys and pour myself into the game. And like I said, the people that's around me held me down. It's tremendous. That support means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot, and that helped me along the way.
What's the biggest, I could say, like, lesson did you feel like you worked through with God that he was like, all right, I'm gonna have to really get you to learn this one? What's the one that you got?
Man, it started probably 3-4 years ago, man, because I just had a lot of people around me, and things would happen, and I would wonder why. I look back, I tore my knee. I waited till I get 100 years old to tear my knee up, first major injury. He sat me down. I had a car accident probably 4 or 5 years ago. First car accident, it happened when I was an adult. So it's a lot of things over the last 5 years that has transpired to get me to that point of where I am now. And it wasn't always easy. And during that time, I think a lot of times we think when bad things happen, it's always the devil. It could be God saying, I'm going to show you to see how you act. I'm going to sit you down to see how you act. And now if you act how you're supposed to act, then guess what? I'm gonna bless you with more. And now you're gonna use that as a testimony.
Yeah.
We think everything bad is the devil. It's not. It could be God trying to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
And see how you handle it. I'm gonna test you and see how you handle it.
A lot of folks point to Job and be like, oh, this it's a test. I think about it deeper sometimes. It's like when we read about how Jesus was, he was like, only the wicked basically ask for miracles. And it's like when you look throughout the Bible, he performed miracles, Old Testament and New Testament, but it was like to show and prove himself to the non-believers.
Right. And I was never a non-believer, but I'd be lying if I said I questioned him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the perfect point. He did, and he showed me. And he's continuing to show me. Yeah.
So it's times like that where it's like, dang, somebody who might be questioning, somebody not believing all the way, it's like, dang, look at Coach Barber. It's like, man, God did that for him.
Yeah.
How did he get through that? And like you said, it's God. So it's like, okay. So that's where you can kind of look at it. I thought about for myself. It's like, man, I'm going through this. It might even be for me. It might be for somebody else who might never connect with me. I might never meet in person. But it's like God performed that through me for them.
That's just like when I here recently again when Caleb happened and things happened. I wasn't doing a good job to take care of myself. I'm just running. One Saturday I was getting ready to go training at home, and this is probably the first I've talked about it, but I didn't go in detail. This is probably the first show. So shout out to you that I'm telling this story in the situation to where it was a negative, but it was God probably saying, man, I told you need to go get yourself checked out. I was ready to go to training at home, and when I was younger, my nose would bleed a lot when it get hot. And I got ready to leave to go training one Saturday morning, and I was like, oh, my nose was running. And I went to blow it, and it was blood. So I'm like, dang. So 5 minutes, I'm trying, okay, it's gonna be all right. It was like coming out like a water fountain.
Dang.
And so, you know how they say hold your head back, but it felt like holding my head back, it was going like, I could feel it like I might drown, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that left me hard-headed. I didn't think that lasted about 10, 15 minutes. I finally cleaned myself up cool. I hadn't ate that morning, but typically I would not eat when I go to the gym. I would drink some water, juice, or whatever. And so I got to the gym. I'm setting up for training. Got like 2 of my clients out there. And so I never forget it. It was RJ. I was in the locker room. RJ came in the locker room, and I was in the bathroom. And I used the restroom, and I felt it like come out like water. And I was like, dang. So the first time was like 10, 15 minutes. And then I got here, and I'm sorry, RJ hadn't got there yet. So I was in the bathroom. Toilet tissue. I promise you, I used about 10 hand towels. They were all red, just nonstop. By the time they got there, it had been going 15 minutes. And his mom kind of helped me out. She like, eat anything? I was like, nah, I ain't eat nothing, but I don't eat a lot anyway. Literally, I had to go out and tell my clients, hey, I'm having an episode out, we'll reschedule. So that one lasted about 30 minutes. So she said, you need to take yourself to the hospital. I said, no, I'm all right, because I didn't feel bad. So I canceled. My assistant coach, Coach Nation, his son had a party. Started at 1:30 because my session was supposed to be at 1. So I said, let me go in there and show my face there, give me something to eat because I ate some crackers at the school. So I'm driving, I get there and help him set up the grill for his son's birthday party. Got fixed the food, ate me a little something. And so Mr. Turner, my principal, I trained his friend's son. His friend's son was at the gym. And so he said, man, he called me and said, man, no, he FaceTimed me. He said, I heard you had an episode at the gym. I'm just calling to see was you all right? I said, yeah, I'm good. And as soon as I said, yeah, I'm good, he's like, man, what's blood started coming down. He said, man, go handle yourself. I'll call you back. So Brent goes and get me I didn't want to go back in the party because I was outside. I said, Brent, give me a towel. So I got a towel. And he told his parents what happened. His grandmother said, if you don't take Coach Barber up there to the urgent care, that sounds like stroke situations, whatever. So that was about 10 minutes. We get in the car, we drive to the urgent care. Thank God, again, sometimes it's not good, but it's good that people know me. Like, young lady was like, Coach Bob, what you doing? I'm like, my nose won't stop bleeding. So it's like 30 minutes now. They need to take him up to Grandview. So Nation take me to Grandview. I got but the towel red. I done went through about 5, 6 towels from the house. I get there, hold my head back. So now this one lasts about 40 minutes. I go to the back. Now they hook me up, take my blood pressure, 197.
Golly, man.
The man say, you at stroke level. I just broke down crying. Called my mama. Called my sister. My sister came up there, called my mama on FaceTime crying, scared. Called Pastor Beavers, said a prayer for me. So long story short, once that happened, I could have looked at it as a negative. God was like, man, you need to take care of yourself. And fortunately enough, I was able to I'm on blood pressure. I take pills every day now. I ain't had an episode since. So I changed my diet up a little bit, but those are one of those situations where I could have looked at it as a negative, but I knew, God was, man, look, okay, you don't want to listen, you want to be hard-headed?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
Me and my homeboy call it God whooping us, man.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
every
like
once in a while, he like, you need that whooping. And that's what it was for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how have you pivoted from that? Like, how you taking care of better care of yourself now?
Yeah, I don't really eat beef or pork anyways, but even the doctor says it's not even about that, it's about how you eat, so I don't do a lot of salt as much anymore. A lot of fried food. I was already on it, but I think I had kind of got away from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just make sure, man, I eat right and eating more, make sure I take my medicine and just, here I got to get back in the gym now that I'm over here. I had to pick up a little happy weight, but, we got people around me in my corner now that's making sure I do things the right way. Yeah.
You keep circling back to that, man, having the right people around you. What's been like the biggest lean on them moment? Was it the Caleb situation in Quay, or was it something else? Like, what's the biggest thing you had to lean on them with?
Well, through the trials and tribulations, but here I'm guarded. It may not seem like it, but I'm a real guarded person. I don't let a lot of people, I may talk to you and laugh with you, but I don't let everybody in, because I feel like I've been burned a lot. So I feel like now the people that God has placed in my life, it's like I wake up every day just happy. I know I can call, especially these guys in here, man. Like, I had people question this staff last year. It's the best staff I've had since I've been at Pearson. As a whole.
Yeah.
We're constantly checking on each other. We're constantly with each other all the time. One of my coaches literally was like my Uber driver for 3 months straight, morning and afternoon, didn't blink an eye. You know, in my personal life, I have people, you know, someone that I'm talking like that helps me out on a daily basis. So, you know, between my coworker at work, you know, he's always pointed to me. You know, being at the Stars is just, you know, and ironically, that's Caleb's church. His parents and everybody go there. So, you know, relationships, even with my daughters, it's like, so it's between my daughters, my mom, my walk at church, and my coaching staff, man, and, you know, a couple other people. It's just been great. Yeah, it's just been great. Like, I think this decision was led by God. I think I was supposed to be here. I really do.
So what's the biggest thing you do now for like your mental health? Is it, you know, hanging around with them, being with your people?
I don't worry a lot. I don't let a lot of things bother me. I don't stress a lot. I never have, but well, you know what? I thought I wasn't, but I was. I just don't let stuff bother me anymore. The saying goes, if you can't control it, why worry about it? I try to live by that mantra a lot more. I only can control the controllables. And just do things, man. No, try to do right by people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like everything else will take care of itself, you know? And I've seen the blessings being poured out to me, and I wanted to continue. And like I said, I'm looking forward to this journey and this chapter. Yeah.
So if you could give a coach who's, you know, dealing with players and it ain't got to be the level what you dealt with, but it's like something happens, how would you kind of get them advice of being like, hey, if you're going to lead these guys, lead these girls, whoever, take this 2 cents with you?
Yeah, for one, create an atmosphere of trust where the guys or the young ladies, whoever, can come talk to you about anything. Be transparent. A lot of times coaches want to, you know, make it like they're just larger than life figure and draw X's and O's. I went to college for 4 years. Like, no, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Create relationships. Be transparent, but also let them know that you love them. And then making sure you're taking care of yourself. And, you know, and have people around the guys. I have people come in, motivational speakers, and speak to my guys. You know, with Pastor Short T coming in. And just creating that family bond the most. If you're going to coaching, and don't try to make it all about you. You know, if you're a young coach, find you a mentor, find you a coach that you can call on and ask. I'm open door policy. You know, some people too prideful to call.
Yeah.
You know, it don't have to be about basketball. It can just be about, hey man, how'd you handle this situation? And I have some coaches like that'll call. You know what I mean? Because that's who I was when I was a young coach. I'm asking 1,000 questions. I'm going to watch, hey man, how you did that? But again, get the right people around you, man. Make sure you have a mentor. Create that culture of family and trust, and I think everything else will be fine. Yeah.
Anything I forget to talk about, man?
No, I thought did a great job. You know.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, most definitely appreciate you too for having me.
Oh man, thank you.
Good luck. Anything I can do for you, let me know. Definitely, I want you to come out, Hueytown, and you know, and we can do some things. Yeah. And I know you. I didn't realize to the day. You know, if you need any help, any pointers, I see you train. We got Maddie and Bella. I used to train. So in that arena there, you know, we get together and do some stuff.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yep.